Hey everyone, welcome. Today we're going to step into a world that, well, it often seems shrouded in mystery, doesn't it? But we're not here to hunt for secrets. Instead, we're going on a journey to understand a pretty unique system of thought, one that's communicated not through, lectures or books, but through the powerful language of signs and symbols. So let's dive right in.
I mean, really think about that for a second. We're so often told that groups like the Freemasons are all about what they hide. But what if the real point is what they choose to reveal? And maybe more importantly, how they reveal it? What if it's actually a blueprint for building a better self and it's been hiding in plain sight this whole time?
So to really get this, the first thing we gotta grasp is that we all live in a world of symbols. This isn't some ancient mystical thing, it's something we do every single day, and most of the time, we don't even realize it.
Just think about it. A company logo, a stop sign, even a simple emoji on your phone. Every single one of those is a tiny visual that just explodes with information, with history, with meaning. They're incredibly efficient shortcuts to really complex ideas, and that's the fundamental principle we're going to be playing with today.
Okay, so with that in mind, let's look at how Freemasonry takes this everyday concept and just runs with it. They elevate symbolism into their #1 teaching method. They use the familiar tools of a stonemason not to build cathedrals of stone, but to hand you a blueprint for building your own character.
And look, the real key to unlocking this whole system is one word: allegory. It's the art of using a simple story or a tangible object to teach a much bigger, abstract lesson. In Masonry, pretty much every tool, every ritual is an allegory. It's a physical thing designed to spark a moral idea inside your head. And this, right here, this is the heart of it all. On one hand, you've got the operative use of a tool, what it literally does. But on the other, you have its speculative meaning, what that same tool can teach us about how to live. It's all about this beautiful transformation of concrete objects into abstract virtues. All right, enough with the theory. Let's make this real. We are going to decode 3 of the most fundamental symbols in Freemasonry, the working tools that every single Mason is taught to see on a much, much deeper level. So first up, we have the square. Now, at a glance, yeah, it's just a simple builder's instrument, but in this symbolic language, it becomes something so much bigger. It becomes an emblem of virtue itself.
So in the real world, what does a stonemason do with this thing? They use it to make sure every corner is a perfect 90-degree angle. It's the tool that guarantees a block of stone is true and square, which is absolutely crucial if you want to build a wall that's not going to fall over. It's all about precision.
And boom, right there, that is the symbolic leap. The square's job of creating a perfect physical angle gets transformed into a moral guide. It becomes this constant reminder to square our actions with our principles, to make sure our own conduct is as true and reliable as a perfectly cut stone. Okay, so from the square, we move to our next tool, the level. And just like the square, its name kind of gives you a hint about its deeper meaning. This simple tool becomes a really powerful emblem of equality. You know, in the real world, a builder uses a level to make sure a foundation is perfectly flat. Every stone, every single part of the structure has to rest on the same horizontal plane. It has to be stable. The level is what finds that common, true line for everyone. And there it is again, that symbolic jump. Just as the tool finds a common physical plane, it reminds us of our common human plane. It teaches that, no matter our wealth or our status or where we come from, fundamentally, we are all equal. We share a common nature, and we all stand on the same level. And our third tool is the plumb rule. So if the square is about virtue and the level is about equality, the plumb rule is this direct, powerful emblem of integrity, of uprightness. A plumb rule is it's beautifully simple, isn't it? It's just a weight on a string, but it uses the undeniable, constant force of gravity to show a builder what is perfectly, truly vertical. It's the unwavering standard for building an upright wall. And that makes the connection here, man, it's just so powerful and direct. Just as a wall absolutely has to be plumb to be strong, a person must be morally upright in their actions. The plumb rule becomes a constant reminder to live a life of integrity and justice, guided by an unwavering internal moral compass. So, okay, we've looked at 3 really solid examples, but the real lesson here, the big idea, isn't just about memorizing what each tool means. It's about understanding the process, the power of transformation itself, how a simple object becomes a profound idea. And this is it. This is the whole shebang. Every symbol tells a story. It's an entire narrative packed into a single, simple image. It's not just a picture of a tool. It's a guide for how to live a better, more meaningful life.
The method itself is almost like this four-step journey. You start with a common, familiar object, something you know. You think about its practical purpose. Then, you make that connection, that allegorical link, to a moral lesson. And finally, that simple object becomes a daily, tangible reminder of the ideal that you're trying to live up to. So at this point, you might be thinking, all right, cool history lesson, but what does this have to do with me right now? And honestly, that is the most important question. This isn't just about decoding some ancient system.
See, this is about recognizing a timeless human method for finding and reinforcing meaning in our own lives. We all use symbols, whether we realize it or not. The only question is, are we using them consciously to guide us toward the people we actually want to become?
And that's really what I want to leave you with. Forget Freemasonry for just a moment and think about your own life. What objects, what images, what ideas? What are your personal symbols? What's your square, your level, your plum rule? What are the things that remind you to be virtuous, to be fair, and to be upright? Because at the end of the day, that's not some secret language. That's the language of a well-lived life.